And crisis treatment in nature is intervention. The reality is in order to receive crisis treatment, you must first be diagnosed for its service. But crisis management is incredibly different. Crisis management is personally driven. For instance, had I known that just 3 weeks prior to my psychotic break, that every time after I completed my 10-mile run, when my heart palpitated like, that was potentially a sign that I was in crisis and that I needed to seek the support of a professional, then I would have went. But you know my story now, and you know that wasn't the case. You see, crisis management is prevention-driven, which means you must know what to do and where to go before crisis hits. But unfortunately, people in crisis are stuck in a perpetual trial and error process, and not everyone is making it out alive. Call me an idealist or even a dreamer, but a world that focused more on crisis management, pro-crisis management, would look like this. It would look like you, educator. Whether in elementary or middle school, high school, college, or grad, inviting an anti-stigma or crisis prevention educational program in, and really making it normal for people to understand how common it is to find yourself in crisis and training them what to do about it so it becomes as common as calling 911 or a fire drill. Or you, business owner, inviting someone like me, I know, shameless plug. But I did start a business called Zion Crisis Navigational Services that is designed to help employees navigate through crisis so they can keep their jobs and also get to the other side of their crisis with dignity. Or you, restaurant owner, coming up with a meal plan where people who find themselves in crisis can maybe get a dish from their favorite restaurant and take the load off. Because if any of you have ever been in crisis, you know that some of the things you forget to do first is to eat, and to eat healthily. You see, crisis management isn't reinventing the wheel or asking for millions of dollars to be invested into our community. Au contraire. Crisis management is you being you, the educated, bringing that service back to our community, uniting and understanding that crisis happens to everybody. So join me and be the change we wish to be. Crisis management, the new community service. Thank you.
Thank you and late evening. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam's Sports Report and Sam's Mental Health Day. She starts off with the second part with talking about how a crisis-driven a crisis as a therapist sources. She just finished that. She says she is type A, a hard worker, and has many other traits. A type of personality is defined by traits of live, abnegation, drive, and competitiveness, which can lead to a high level of success, but a type A personality can also be impatient, hostile, and have a hard time relaxing. It is important to understanding yourself and your tendencies so you can creatively healthy balance, work-life balance. A crisis management is a personal prevention with someone who had a psychotic break. If I knew, like all of us, if we knew we were going to have a psychotic break and we had a plan, we would have had the plan totally different. But a mental health disorder is like having cancer, but you just don't know it the day before. Or one day you have a stomach flu, the next day you don't. One day you have a cold, one day you don't. Very similar. She gives an example of a heartbeat problem. I give an example of so many. One, running in front of a train in Carbondale with going over 40 miles an hour, coming right by me, and me going through. Two, conversations online, exploring online dating. Three, I don't know. Maybe somewhat losing friends, not knowing what I'm doing. And may know my life story. She shares the same here. I don't think people with mental health disorder plan on mental health things. Just like people don't plan on being sick. People don't plan on having cancer. Crisis management is prevention driven. Let's go step by step for me. I try to push through it. Try to go home for a few days at my parents' house. Contact Dr. Van Horn if he has any ideas. Go home if all of those don't work. Go to Cottonwood Springs if that doesn't work. Go to Shawnee Mission, all basically the same. Much like we intended to in 2016, find a better program. If you're going to commit suicide, all comes down to this, just go to the hospital. I am scared. I am checking myself in. And you know yourself better than other people, and you know if some medicine's not working, but if they don't have the time to figure it out, you may have to go to the hospital. Everyone thinks they know better, but the only person that knows is you. The only problem with people that are in a crisis, it is a trial and process error. You try one hospital, it doesn't work. You try another one, it might work. You try another one, and you may have to try another one. Not everyone makes it out. I don't believe, unless I went to Cottonwood Springs in 2022, that I would have made it out. I don't know that I would have made it out, not because of Cottonwood Springs, but just because of a hospital. Anywhere would have probably been okay. The Royals lose 3 out of 4 to the Twins. They're on a narrow dive, but have prevented the long losing streak of what would have been 4, and hopefully they get back into the win column this weekend. The Royals lose to the Twins, yet another bullpen problem. Chris Stanton gives up 4 runs in the 6th of what the Royals led 4-0, then 4-2, then 4-3. As Daniel Lynch gives up 2 runs, and then Chris Stanton gives up 4 to give the Twins a lead at 7-4. The Royals scored 2 to make it 7-6, but were unable to capitalize and tie the game. 7-6 is your final. Royals drop to 35-23. Twins are 31-25. Brewers beat the Cubs 6-4. In the NBA right now, the Mavericks are drilling the Timberwolves, leading their way to take Game 5. You take Game 5 and win the series and go to the NBA championship. We've already got one team in the NBA championship, and that would be the Celtics. The Mavericks and Celtics will be playing for the NBA Finals. In the NHL, the Panthers lead the Rangers 2-1. Third period, 5:36 to go. Rangers and Panthers tied at 2. And tomorrow we'll have the Oilers and Stars. That series also tied at 2, 7:30 TNT, Western Conference Finals and Eastern Conference Finals. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam's Sports Report and Sam's Mental Health Day.